Welcome to another episode of the Everyday Game Changers podcast. I am your host, Baron McQueen, and we always talking to people who are changing the game in business, community, the arts, everything. And today is definitely no different. This story is, I think, I got my own personal reasons why I want to have a conversation, but we're gonna talk about her journey. Felicia Hershenhorn, how are you?
I am so good. Happy to be here.
I
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
your time. I guess we could get right into so when I think about your story, the first thing that comes to mind is this is somebody that's been in the law space who gave that thing up and kind of went into this entrepreneurship route. So, I think we talk a lot on this podcast about entrepreneurship, but I
Mhm.
always tell people about I'm not against people having a regular job or a 9 to 5. I'm just like, if you have the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, there's no cap.
Mhm.
So talk to me about how you go from lawyer to beauty skincare guru.
Ooh, that's a term. Well, if we want to even go back before that, I was a hostess at a restaurant for like a million
Oh
years.
my, see, there you
So,
go.
I did that too. But
Hector.
yeah, I did that in university and also when I was in law school, and then I gave it up. But I became a lawyer basically because I was very fiery and passionate and loved to talk, and I couldn't do anything else. Like I was bad at math, bad at science. Which is so funny now because like my whole career is based around the new
Both of
science
those things, right?
and math. But
Sure.
it's so funny because they always say like when it comes to math, you just got to apply it to something that you like. And that
Mm.
never clicked for me until I started like going to the gym and lifting. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's 145. Like now I know how to like add
It
things
just it
up.
just clicks now, right?
Yeah. And the same thing happened in business. Obviously, when it's very important to me, I'm going to find the answer. But my teacher was wrong because I always have a calculator on me. So I think, I thank God for that. So I was a lawyer. I was the youngest and only female lawyer at a real estate development company. And that was really fun. I loved it. My boss he was amazing because I worked directly with him. He was like my only client.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because when you're in-house, you only have one client. It's your company. And he was good about putting me in situations that I probably shouldn't have been in when I was that young and that fresh, like out of law school. And I had actually started working there a little bit before I graduated, like interning and stuff. So they felt comfortable with me, but he put me in rooms with like finance peers, with lawyers, with lenders, like all different types of people. And he would have me like run the meetings or ask the questions or, like make sure that people knew that I was in the room. So that gave me a lot of confidence when I decided that I wanted to move on from that. And how that happened is kind of funny. I founded or co-founded a beauty company with an influencer and also a friend of mine. And that was fantastic. I had a great time. I had never run a company before, like had no experience in it, but I knew beauty and I knew skincare because I was always obsessed with beauty and skincare growing up.
Okay.
Like I was the type of girl that was doing everyone's makeup before they were going out to the clubs, but I would never go out to the club. Like I would just go home and wash my face. I was like, I did my makeup, I did your makeup, I got my picture, I'm good. Um, and I would like stay on YouTube and like find tutorials. And so that's kind of how I got into it. And then before that, I was a theater kid. So I was always using makeup and always having to take it off and make sure that my skin was, perfect for the next night on stage. So that's kind of how I got into like beauty and makeup. And then I ended up leaving that company and starting my new company, which is Runi. And
Seen
Runi,
that.
yeah, sorry.
I seen that.
Yeah, so that's the new thing. That's sexual wellness or intimate wellness. And Rooney is actually my childhood nickname. So
Okay.
when I told my parents like what I was doing, sexual wellness, and what I was naming it, Rooney, they like fell off their seats. They were like, "What?" But now they love it. They're like, "Rooney, Rooney, Rooney." Like everyone loves it. So it's very, very funny.
So
But
let me so when you were doing law, did you get into like launching this company with the influencer simultaneously and then you kind of just went full time into it?
yeah. So what happened was, I was working and basically how it works when you're a lawyer is usually, this is not 100% of the time, but this is very traditional. You go to a firm, like a law firm, and you work there 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and then you become partner. And then usually, if you don't want to be a partner at a law firm, you'll go in-house. And so I had gone straight from law school to working in-house. So I was really like very far ahead in my career for someone my age. And I realized very quickly that this was going to be my life unless I made a change. And listen, I loved the place that I worked. Was I passionate about the law? No. Was I excited about, waking up every day and writing LOIs for letters of intent for people to lend money to build a condo? No, that didn't jazz me. Was it horrible? No, it was fun and exciting at times. And there was drama, of course, but I wanted something more. So that's when I started the beauty business. And it was really a side hustle. It was like, I have pictures on my phone. It's so funny of me and my previous co-founder, like mixing things and trying things because it was an ingestible beauty company, not a topical. And so, like
I want to get into that too. So,
oh, we'll get into it. Trust me, we will. But it was just something that was fun. And, it was gummy. So it was exciting and everybody loved it. And we got to try all these candies. And I was just having such a good time. And then we ended up deciding that, what we should do for the business is get someone to front the business and be front facing to consumers. That's not either one of us, because who are we? And that's kind of how we got on to what we got onto. And then things just took off from there. And I was waking up at like 4 a.m., working from like 4 to 7, and then getting home. As a lawyer, you work long hours. So I was getting home at like 8, 8:30, 9. And then I was working from like 9 to 1. I was like sleeping 3 hours. I was like, unsustainable, can't do this. So I
had to make a decision.
Yeah.
Because I usually talk about people like that have a side hustle. Like, you work your 9 to 5 and then your side hustle is your 5 to 9. But because your 9 to 5 was more like 7 to 8, you was doing a 9 to 1, right? So how important was that for you to find because I know you did the stuff with Sommer Ray, right? That was for your first, right? How important was having an influencer an influencer that big, right? To kind of be the face, behind the brand. Like I see people that do the influencer campaigns and they don't have probably maybe the success maybe you have had. So what advice could you give to somebody when picking an influencer to kind of go and be in front of your business?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because with Summer, we were very, very lucky. We had, we actually had other celebrities that we were in talks with before, and like any deal, they fall through just for whatever reason. And so we ended up, working with Summer, and it was very quick with her team, and they were amazing, and she's amazing. But the thing is if you want to build a cult brand, quote unquote, without a face, without an influencer, that takes a lot of groundwork and pedal to the metal, right? That's like showing up at the farmers markets, being guerrilla, showing up at these places, like getting people to know what your product is and your brand is. And a lot of products and brands start out that way, and that's how they gain traction. We wanted to do it a little bit differently. And we didn't want to put a lot of money into Facebook ad spend, right? Like we knew how expensive it was getting, especially at the height of Corona, like it was getting very expensive. So we decided, what can we do instead? And so when you're looking for an influencer, you have to look for someone, number one, that has an authentic connection with their audience, with respect to the product that you are bringing to market. And I cannot stress that enough, because, for example, if I wanted, Sommer Ray to go on there and, I don't know, push a product that wasn't in line with her brand, it just wouldn't hit the same.
Yeah, it'd be a disconnect.
Exactly. And people know, people listen,
I see it with the Kardashians. I'll say it. You don't have to say it, but I see it. Right? It's like, okay, they got paid to do this little post, and we know they're never going to use that product. We get it.
Exactly. And also, if they have a million products that, listen, there's tons of micro influencers now doing amazing things. They're making a ton of money, and it's really opened up a whole new industry. And I think it's fantastic. Letting women, letting men, letting girls and boys like go out, try products, give, hopefully, we hope, honest reviews, and live these amazing lives, traveling, getting flown places. And even if you're not doing it on that scale, but you get to go to a new restaurant once every 2 months to try their food and post
That's
about it. Like,
that's
it's
me. I'm the
amazing.
restaurant guy.
Oh, you're the restaurant guy?
I
I love
go.
it.
So what it is so the weirdest thing happened. Once I got verified on Instagram, I seen a different
Woo!
um way restaurants interacted with me, right? So I
Mm,
used to always post my food, especially if it was good. I always leave good reviews, but I always started posting after I leave the restaurant. I never want
mm.
anybody to know where I'm at any given moment, right? So I always post. So after I post and I tag the restaurant, I get these long, oh, we didn't know that was you. We would have had champagne and it just turned. And I'm like, man, this blue check makes people act crazy.
You're
Like
like, I just wanted the
a
French
burger.
fries.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
It's
I
simple,
didn't
but
want any scene.
so now my wife is getting to experience the aftermath of this blue check now, right?
Mm.
So we just went to a restaurant, and like soon as we walk in, like they had our table in the back, away from people, the champagne, the trying out lava cakes, and all of this stuff on the house, and I'm just like,
You're
okay,
like,
this is what
yep.
the celebrities be going through, right?
That's
So
the thing. Like, I always think about the swag bags that they get because, like, we send product, to different events and they get our product. And it's like, I would love just to receive one swag bag, once, but just one, because that would set me up for like 6 months,
simple, man. Give me some
right?
chapstick and I'm straight. Right?
That's it. That's all I
Chapstick and a
need.
shot glass, and I'm good.
Well, that's the thing. And so, these celebrities get so many things. And so they will push a lot of products. And so you have to make sure, it happened in my last company that the influencer we chose didn't have a lot of products that she was pushing, had a great connection with her audience. And the things that she would post and the way that she would talk, and when she would do posts about our company and about, the product, they were synonymous. They were simpatico. Like there was no difference. So her
Right.
audience just really liked it. And she's a beautiful girl. So selling skincare is going to be easy.
Yes.
But it doesn't always mean that you have to have the most beautiful person on your, company to sell. So,
Got it.
or quote unquote, conventionally beautiful. Of course, there's so many different definitions. And so with Runi, I really wanted to take a different approach and do things differently. So not influencer based. Doesn't mean I'm sinking a lot of money into ads. In fact, I'm sinking $0 into ads. So you'll never get, or you won't get right now, any ads, pushed on you for Runi. That's just because the nature of the product, the main ingredient is CBD.
Right.
So rules are really strict around that, which at first I thought was kind of like, an impediment to our growth and our launch, but is actually been really helpful because we get to be so much more creative in how we want to be front facing and like think of new and fun ways to talk to our audience, which I'm excited about. And we didn't want to do an influencer. In like it's my name. So we're doing a little bit more founder forward. And it
Got it.
really did come from like my experiences and something that I felt out and about. It was, I write, everyone wants to know like the founder story. What was your eureka
Of
moment?
course. Of course.
And there really wasn't like one, which
Got it.
is, it sounds horrible to say, but it basically was like a bunch of different moments that I had with girls in bathrooms. And there's like tons of memes about this, but like when you're at a club, at a bar, at a restaurant at night, you go into the girls' bathroom and it's just like everybody's talking to everyone. We're all best friends. I'm sharing her lipstick. She's taking a tampon from my purse.
Really?
Oh my gosh. It's the girls' bathroom is amazing. You become best friends and you never see that person again.
Oh
And
my
those
God.
like, it's amazing. Literally, like I've taken, this is obviously pre-corona. I would probably do it now, but like I've borrowed lip gloss from a girl who I have no idea her first name. Like, never mind if I should be sharing lip gloss with her, because I'm like, what shade is that? She's like, do you want to wear it? I'm like, yeah. And
So
it's
y'all
just,
all in there just huddling up, prepping to
oh
go
yeah.
back out to the environment.
Oh yeah. You see a girl crying, you're like, who is it? Like,
Oh,
we're all talking, we're having a good time.
so
And
support group in the bathroom.
exactly. And it's these
Wow.
like moments that I wanted to bring to the greater public. And I wanted to use Runi as my vehicle to do that. And one of the main questions and concerns that me and my friend group talk about, I've heard other people talk about when I'm out and about, that I've researched myself since getting into it, is the pleasure gap and women's inability to come to orgasm. And so it's, everyone's like, I don't want to talk about that, like that, I don't want to talk about that. But if I could bring that same energy that we have in the bathroom when we're talking about it out of the bathroom, like into mainstream, and not doing it in a way that's like in your face and we got to do it like this, and, sex this, sex that, private parts, whatever, just doing it in a way where we make people feel comfortable understanding their bodies, understanding their pleasure, and asking for what they want, then it's game over. So that's really kind of how I got into this. And it's
So
still,
have you always been open about that conversation, or was that something you had to get over too, as far as now that you have a product?
it's, I've never been somebody that is like overtly talking about sex all the time, especially with my previous line of work. Like, being a lawyer, you have to be like very staunch. Not in all ways, of course, we're still human beings, but you represent the bar association of where you're barred, and you also represent your clients. So you kind of have to keep a little bit of a tight lip with respect to that stuff. But I actually gave another interview the other day, and I said a quote from, I think it was Diane von Furstenberg, and I'm probably going to like butcher it, but she grew up saying that she, never wanted to be a girl and always wanted to be a woman. Like, she always wanted to be a femme fatale. And that I felt, and people around me could feel that energy too. Like, I always just wanted to be a little bit sexier. And that's because that made me happy. So I think people around me would agree to that, but I was never someone that was talking about like, tell me about your orgasms.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
but now I
different. I
do.
got it. So because that's two different, from, so talk to me a little bit about what the product is. This isn't like gummy related now, right? This is
No.
a
Yeah.
serum, right?
Yeah, so I completely left my previous company
Okay.
a few months ago, and basically started Runi like very quickly after, because I was just like, what do I do now? Like, I have to do something fun, I have to do something amazing. So Runi is a next generation serum designed for sex that enhances and increases blood flow to your more sensitive regions, so you can have like bigger, better, faster orgasms. And
Really?
it's a topical serum. Yeah. Yeah, only 6 ingredients, non-GMO,
So I probably
vegan.
should have had got a sample of this before the interview so I could give some feedback, right?
That's the thing. So it is specifically for women, but
Okay.
I promise
For
your
my
wife,
wife. Okay.
yeah, and you'll be happy too, because it's like when your partner's happy, you're happy, you know?
100%. I was
And
picking tiles out today and she's ecstatic. Like, I'm good.
that's probably, I don't want to say it's better than my serum, but that's pretty high up there, I have to
Got
say.
it.
But it's amazing, and it's aloe vera based, so it can also lubricate the area, so like both men and women can enjoy it. And it's honestly, it's fantastic. Like, I spent a long time formulating it and going back and forth about the base, the ingredients, what I wanted, what I didn't want, having people try it. And when we got the product to where I knew it had to be in order for me to bring it to market, it was like, I couldn't even put in words how happy I was. It was one of the happiest days of my life, because I knew how well the market would respond. And then when I was fundraising for the company, we raised in like 2 days. Like, everybody said yes right away who I went to. They were all so excited about it. But there was one person that was like, I don't know, like, what is this? Like, there's other people in the market, they have similar products, like, I don't know. And so we didn't have the product at the time that I was fundraising, because I literally decided that I was going to do the idea, went on Pinterest, found pictures, made a deck, which looking back on it, I'm like, how did I send this to people? And then I was like, you know what, listen, I'll save you a little bit of room for the amount that you want to commit.
Yeah.
We talked about that. And I said, because we were overraised, so I wasn't concerned. And so I said, when I get the product, you try it, and then you'll come back to me a day later, 2 days later, try it once, twice, 3 times. So when I finally did get the product, I gave it to him. He called me that night and he's like, I'm in. So that's the second time that I knew that it was just like going to be amazing.
So talk to me about, because this isn't like, you go put some lotion on, right? And it's like, how did that lotion make you feel? This is like, now you've tried it. Now you got to kind of put it to work to get the results, right? So how is that trial and error of getting to a point where, okay, now we've nailed it? How do you go about doing that?
A lot of good friends, a lot of very good friends. Well, I will say, a lot of people don't understand this about the beauty industry. And it's actually quite upsetting and jarring when you do figure this out. A lot of people just white label products. So they'll go to a factory and they'll be like, I want to sell a hand cream. And so the factory has 7 different hand creams with, a different ingredient in each one. And so brand X and brand Apple could be selling the exact same hand cream because they go to the exact same manufacturer and they just slap their label on it and make it look different. And brand X could be selling it for $600 and brand Apple can be selling it for $20, but it's the exact same hand cream.
Wow.
So, I mean, you'll see that even with like, I'm sure your wife uses, and you probably use a lot of serums. Like a lot of serums are like 100% or maybe 2 ingredients of like a very distilled ingredient, right? And so that it's really potent. Let's use hyaluronic acid, for example.
Okay.
What's the difference? I mean, listen, there are differences in hyaluronic acid for sure. And if they have other ingredients there, but if you have like a pure serum or something that's as pure as you can get with maybe like 2 or 3 other ingredients in it and a preservative of some sort, they probably come from a lab that's very similar, and, or even if they don't, it still doesn't negate the point that a lot of people are white labeling.
Right.
And so this up, I knew one ingredient that I was really, really intent on using, and then we built it up from there. And so the first sample that we got, when I got the sample, I was so excited. I couldn't wait. I'm opening the box. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. And I look in, and mind you, it's a product for people's private parts that they're going to be using in their most intimate moments, and it's brown.
Okay.
And I'm like,
it's brown?
911, I like to report a crime. Like, what do I do here? Like, I was freaking out, and I was like, oh my God, I did this capital raise and I put so much money into it and effort. And, it's like,
they had the color wrong, or?
It just was brown. Like, I don't know if it turned brown when they shipped it or whatever. It just was not good.
Right.
And so I called them and we were laughing, and they were like, okay, round 2. And then by round 2, we got the color down. We got, then round 3, we got the consistency down. And then by round 4 or 5 is when it started really taking shape. And that's when I started giving it to friends and to family. I gave it to my dental hygienist because she was going away with her friends and like on a couple's retreat. And so I gave it to her and she loved it.
Perfect case study group, right?
Exactly. I mean, it wasn't a double blind, but but it was as close as you can get, Cabo. Nice. So that's kind of how that went.
That's dope. So tell me about the CBD aspect of doing a serum and why you went that route.
So that was the ingredient that I wanted to use. And I, even before, have always been really ingredient focused on what I eat, what I put on my face, what I come into contact with, and not in an obnoxious way. That's like, you can't use that because that's, bad for you. I just, for myself, have like particular likes and dislikes. And, everyone's skin is different. Everyone's body reacts differently to everything else. But CBD, ever since 2018, when it became legal, just had so much excitement around it. And around 2018, 2019, we saw a lot of brands coming out with CBD products. And then all of a sudden it died off. because CBD is expensive and it doesn't always do what people want it to do. And it has to be mixed with certain active ingredients so that it can do what it needs to do, certain carrier ingredients so it can get where it needs to go. And not all products do that properly, which, no fault to different brands, but it's a lot of trial and error. And it's an expensive process. So brands are just like, we're not going to do that, which I totally understand. And so I love CBD. I didn't use it all that often for this, purpose, which is increasing blood flow, because CBD can act as a vasodilator. So what that means is that your blood vessels like dilate, and more blood goes to those areas. And so when you look at, this cycle of an orgasm, you have desire, you have arousal, and then you have orgasm. So desire is like, okay, I see you, you see me, I want you, you want me. Then you have arousal where your body's getting like excited. Maybe your body is lubricating. So like your private parts are lubricating. Your, more sensitive area is there's more blood flow there. So this is part of the process. So if I could find an ingredient that mimics that part of the body, then you're golden, right? Because it's just going to enhance what you're already going through. And so that's why I was really focused on CBD.
Got it. That's dope. So is this edible?
Yeah, completely edible, safe for consumption. There's only 6 ingredients.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, just for my own personal thought. Got it.
Well, it's so funny because one of my other formulations had stevia in it because I wanted it to taste good. But then stevia, not everybody likes stevia and not everybody wants stevia. So I just pulled it out. And this one is now completely tasteless, odorless. And okay, so one of the main ingredients is, I'll tell you all the ingredients because there's only 6. So there's the CBD, there's hyaluronic acid, there's vitamin C, there's cordyceps mushroom, there's shiitake mushroom, and I'm missing one. I'm missing an ingredient. Oh, aloe vera. That's the base. And literally it's like a moisturizer. Like it really does moisturize. So we say on the website, like you'll have juicy skin and even juicier orgasms. But when I was trying it on my hand, I was like, I might put this one on my face. Like it's so great. So honestly, you can eat it. I mean, I wouldn't like spoon it, but it is safe for consumption. And you can put it on your hands. You can put it anywhere.
Got it. That's good. So how, let me ask you this. Does the CBD aspect of the product make it trickier to promote?
Yes.
So I know it's some certain limitations on, let's say, ads or Facebook or whatever the case may be. How's that?
So different platforms have different rules. Facebook is actually opened up a little bit on what they allow and what they don't allow, but they still keep a very close eye on what you say and what you don't. If it's topical, there's less, there's less scrutiny on your ads. But if it's ingestible, I think they're still pretty strict about what you can say. TikTok, I know, does not allow any ads. So we have no ads, but we have a big influencer marketing campaign that's going to be synonymous, or not synonymous, but simultaneous with our launch. And so that's really the route that we're going. And you also can't do Google ads because Google does not allow you to advertise for CBD. So we're limited, but it's okay because as long as we get the right people talking about the product in the right way, and which is the way that we want the product to be shown, then that's all you really need anyway. Because what do you trust more? Like, do you trust a random ad that's targeted to you because you shopped at Sephora once? Or do you trust your best friend who you see on Instagram being like, I love this thing? And the marketing, I'll show you the marketing. I'll send you a little bit. It's so gorgeous. It's so high end, so chic, so editorial. We're taking a completely different approach to, talking about sexual wellness and intimate wellness.
My favorite show right now is Cooked with Cannabis on Netflix.
Oh my gosh, leather stores.
She loves this show. Like, she's like, oh, he did the THC and it took you up here and then it brings you down here. Like, she's thinks she's an expert now because she watches Cooked with Cannabis. So she thinks she knows everything about CBD. Like, that's her go-to now, is like, oh, my shoulder hurt. Put a little CBD right here.
It's anti-inflammatory.
That's her thing now. So this will be interesting for her. I'm definitely gonna reach out and have to get some of this.
Yes, of course. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna put you guys on the influencer list. You're gonna get, it's not even the blue check mark, it's just because we're chatting. I'm
Let's
gonna
do
just
it.
give you
Let's do it. So give me some we got some entrepreneurs that's got some products that maybe they want to put out, or they got an idea that they want to put out, and they in their own way. What kind of advice can you give to them to just like, look, you just get out and do it and find something you love and are passionate about and make it happen?
That's the advice that I would give, is just go and do it. There's never a right time ever. You're never going to have the amount of money that you want. You're never going to have the amount of time that you want. You're never going to have all the support that you want. But if you believe in yourself, I'm a big believer. I was talking to my friend last night about this. A big believer in energy, and not in the way that, the energy you put out is what you attract and you just got to sit back and wait for God to give it to you. Completely different. What I think is, when you're in a good headspace and you're really focused on something and you want something really badly and you're working with a positive mindset towards that, you will make better decisions to get to where you need to go. And even if it's subconscious, right? Even if it's like, okay, I'm just going to wake up a little earlier tomorrow so that I can work on it. And then all of a sudden you're waking up earlier, you're eating healthier, your brain health is better, you're more focused because you had a better night's sleep, you didn't go out to the club and get bombed, you see, whatever that is, you just make better decisions. And you end up, when you look back, you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually 15 steps ahead. And sometimes it's not about, incorporating a company and whatever. It's about sending an email to someone who could help you in some way. And just that one email could get you so far. So I always say, just go for it, do it, be positive. And as cheesy as it sounds, I've gotten so much done when I'm thinking positively towards my goal and thinking that I can do it. Because if you don't believe yourself, like, I have to say, any success that I've ever had with any company that I've had, I mean, the two companies that I had, was selling myself as a person,
Of course.
right? And because people see that I believe in me, that I'm accountable, that I'm responsible, that I'm following up with them, and they're like, wow, I want this person on my team in one way or another. So that would be my advice. And also, go as balls to wall as you can, because like, that's the way to make noise.
That's it, man. Look, I see this little countdown
Oh my
flashing in front
gosh.
of me. I can't believe 30 minutes went by that fast. But
I know.
Felicia, this has been a pleasure. We definitely going to be on the lookout for all of this. Where do you see this in 5 years?
Oh, I mean, I see it as omnipresent.
Okay.
We're starting with intimate wellness, but intimate wellness and sexual wellness is so connected to your holistic wellness. So we're going to be a big, big unicorn. I see it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. You've been tuned into another episode of the Everyday Game Changers, and I love this. Definitely changing the game on a whole nother level. Felicia, thank you for your time, and we're gonna be tuned in. I'm gonna give y'all some of my feedback because my wife's nasty, so we're gonna make this thing work. And thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.